Oh, sorry about the abrupt cutoff, guys, but we're back. The video was hitting the 15-minute mark anyways, but you have your apps and widgets tabs at the top, just like stock. You have your play button at the top to get to the market quicker without having to search through all your apps. As you see, it does switch directly from apps to widgets. You don't have to press the tab. It is quicker to use the tab, but it's not a necessity. As there is software buttons and stuff like that, so you just go back to add a widget. You have to actually go to widgets, press and hold, then you can add whatever you want to add to it. That way, change the wallpapers. Just press and hold on the home screen. You know, we all know how this works. But like I said, everything is pretty much stock here, with a light customization by Motorola. Not too much, which gives it a relatively fast feel when scrolling through the home screens and everything else, because you don't have all the extra widgets and stuff working in the background against you. It gives it a very fluid, fast feel. As I said, we had an 8 megapixel camera on the back. Front camera, the front camera actually can record 720. I wouldn't say the front camera is the greatest front camera ever, but it works. You know, it gets your video calls and stuff like that. A good do it for you. As you see here, there is kind of grainy all the time, but as I said, it does do 720 on the front facing. And you can do a single shot and timer on the front facing camera. And you can choose where you want to store your pictures as you take them, because you do come with 8 gigabytes internal storage. You can expand that with your SD card. On the back, you got 8 megapixel camera, which to me, it really isn't that bad. You know, it's not the best camera, but it's definitely not the worst. I've seen a lot worse 8 megapixel cameras, but this one is not that bad. Alright, we'll go back in here, check out some of the other features of the camera app. The camera app is not that extensive of an app. It's got pretty basic functions that you would expect from Android. And ice cream sandwich. Got your exposure settings, your flash settings. Here is your different camera modes. As you see here, we have single shot, panorama that was just introduced in iOS 6. We have that here. Multi-shot, timer, and HDR. I would say HDR probably comes out with the best quality pictures. It's not consistently good, but they do take really good pictures with this phone. But as you see, this isn't something like that would beat out what HTC does with their cameras, or Samsung does with their camera apps. It's just a basic take your picture and be done with it type camera. yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you got your video recording. It does take 1080p video recording. Videos are not as good as the pictures are, but like I said, there's worse out there. It's not that bad. And actually, I'm about to do a video next here of Samsung Galaxy Nexus that I'm actually recording this video with from Verizon. I just got that today, so that will be shot with this right here. So if you want to see the quality of that, just check out the Galaxy Nexus review, and that'll be shot with this. Like I said, overall it's a good phone. Like, you know, most of the time you get an Android phone, and if you're like me, you want to root it and do whatever you want to do to it and everything. This phone, you get it in your hands and you really don't need to root it. It works good. It's pretty much stock. You don't have to worry about having to put on Cyanogen mod or any of those type of ROMs, because it just comes out the box working really good. That Snapdragon S4 dual core works very good on here, and it's really only going to get better once we get Jelly Bean on here. I mean, as smooth as it is, it's gonna be better with Jelly Bean. Be at a constant 60 frames per second and all the other project butterness. Some things we'll get back to talking about some of the software things. Some things they did do is they do change up how some of the apps look, and I would just say that's just so you know, to take advantage of that AMOLED screen and save you your energy from your battery. Like a lot of the widgets and stuff, they'll be blacked out, which on an AMOLED screen does help conserve battery, because the reason why you get the deep blacks is because the pixels actually turn off for the black color. So they do have a lot of blacked out widgets and stuff. See here and all that. And then a lot of the apps are actually darker, because the lighter, like I said, the lighter shades drain your battery faster on the AMOLED. It's not like LCD, so they do have a lot of apps that are darkened to help you with your battery life, on top of the app that I was saying earlier that I highly recommend you use if you get this phone. It does great on battery life. I mean, I averaged on like a light to medium use day, can average a good 16 to 18 hours with the 2000 milliamp hour battery. But to be on the safe side and to make sure I get that, I do tend to use this app for most of the day. This is Smart Actions. It's a Motorola app. Comes with the phone pre-installed. They've been putting this on their phones since the RAZR came out. It works very good. What I do is I keep it on battery saver most of the time, all day long. What you do is you tap that, and then you have all these different options to set up on how your phone actually works for you. Like when I turn mine on, you know, you can set up different triggers. So mine is triggered by the phone not being on the charger. If I turn on battery saver, as soon as I take it off of the charger, battery saver will click on. It'll change the brightness. As you see here with the actions, it'll automatically change the brightness to what they call smart brightness, which usually is a little bit it's a little bit duller than what you would have even on auto brightness. It's just a little bit better than that, but you will see everything is a lot more dull and washed out. You can pick, if you tap on these, you can pick what you want to do. You can set your brightness up yourself, put it on automatic brightness, or you can use this smart brightness. As you see, it saves most battery because it is the dimmest of settings. You can also do your background data here. So what it does is, only when I'm using the app that's when the app will update and stuff, so it won't sync until I actually open that app to save the battery. It's not constantly syncing up with stuff. Then the display goes to 30 seconds on sleep time. You can add different ones yourself if you want to. You can take some away. You set it up to however you want to based on these settings. You can customize your own. Yeah, you can actually customize your own rules. They do have some, that come right out the gate. These are just some that I use. But this will be the screen that you're greeted with. Like I said, you can customize your own. You'll have drive smart, charging reminders, sleep rule, the meeting rule, workout, battery saver, work, home rule, nighttime battery saver. All of those come out. You can just pick and choose whatever works for you, and once you pick them, you can actually modify them to your liking. I'd say this is probably the best app that I've had on phones that comes pre-installed. It extends your battery a good 2 hours, depending on your usage. You can extend it at least a good 2 hours. So like I said, even on a heavy usage day, when I use heavy usage, I'm really heavy on it. Display stays on highest brightness and everything the whole time. I can get anywhere from 6 to 9 hours of usage, depending on how heavy I go on it, with the battery saver turned on. With it off, I can get anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours constant use, brightness all the way up and everything. All right, good. There you have it. This is a review of the Motorola Droid M. Oh, I forgot to mention there is a LED right there in the top corner. Sorry. But this has been a review Motorola Droid M, the out of the box version, as there is no ROMs or no development for this phone yet. It's locked down pretty tight so far, so we'll probably be waiting a while. Or you can buy the developer edition and start making your own ROMs and stuff like that, because it does come with an unlockable bootloader. Costs you about $500 and some dollars. I think it's like $559, $569, something like that. But I would say on Verizon, if you're not going for the S3, this is your best option. Get all the high-end specs at half the price of their high-end phones. Good battery life. The screen looks great. Definitely love the edge-to-edge screen. Sometimes I just turn it on just to look at it. The colors are great on here. Saturation is great. You get very little bezel there, as I said, and get that nice little animation. Here's a lock screen that you can go through. I guess we'll go over that before I end this video here. Get your time at the top. You can change the volume to silent or volume on. Get this little lock pattern where you can have quick access to your different apps here. 4 different apps that they set up: text message, unlock, phone, and camera. You can't change them as